Hi there. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Writer Larry Unplugged. In this series, I am going to, there's no professional lighting, no glitzy graphics, just you, me, my phone, and my words. This initial episode, I have a drink too. Hope you have a drink. So it's just us. Why don't you take a seat, relax, close your eyes, and let the words pour over you, and then let me know what you think. So today I'm going to be reading a short story that I wrote after I discovered my boyfriend was sleeping with my lesbian best friend. The story is called Rhythm of a Drummer God, and it came out of my first collection of short stories, Damaged Angels. I stirred. Consciousness was slow to return. I opened my eyes a slit. Sunlight flung against the drawn levelers. It was morning then. The sleep that eluded me last night had obviously come, finally. I had lain there in the dark, praying, listening for your footsteps, the sound of your key in the door, waiting for the end of this purgatory, the purgatory of not knowing, of wondering, will he come home tonight? I had wiped away my tears at the corner of an ivy satin sheet and planned to leave, but I knew that I could not leave. I was trapped here, a prisoner of my own emotions, caught up in a passion that I could neither understand nor deny. Opening my eyes wider, I confronted the still life of last night. A pair of damp underpants strewn in the corner, the sticky, crumpled sheets, the scent of your hair on the pillowcase. You had come home then, but where were you now? With her? Her. She. She had been my best friend. She had become your lover. She whose name I cannot bring myself to pronounce or write. She whom I now hate with a passion equal and opposite to my passion for you, my young lover. Hers too now. She had been with me the first time I saw you. We had been strolling through the park and you ran past us. A flash of rippling muscle, an impression of strength, and you were gone. I told her I loved you in that instant. Idiot, she had laughed. I took to hanging out in the park, managed to strike up a friendship with you, casually offering to buy you breakfast one morning. Breakfast lasted until lunch. Lunch ended with an invitation to dinner. Over dinner that night, I commented, "You look good all dressed up." "And they say clothes don't make the man," you responded. "They don't, but I bet you do." I thought I heard a challenge in your voice. One perfectly arched eyebrow shot upward. I am, as you may recall, inordinately proud of my eyebrows. Sometimes I drawled in her best accent, sometimes. "I'm not gay," you defended. "Did I ask you to be snapped, irritated?" "No, but I know what you want. Are you going to give it to me?" "No." "What shall we order?" I'd asked then, the seeming non sequitur not. The memory faded like a movie screen gone black after the last reel has been run out. I felt it again, anger, hurt, betrayal. Yet as surely as I knew you were with her, I knew that I would forgive you again and again if necessary. Why did I forgive you when I could not forgive her? I'm not sure. Maybe it was easier to forgive you because of your youth, or because you were a man, and men I have discovered are notoriously disloyal. Or maybe it was easier to forgive you because you hadn't been my best friend. Somewhere behind my head, a quartz clock perched like some large mechanical insect, marking each passing second with maddening precision. Tick, tock. Seconds passing, growing into minutes. Minutes marrying, bearing hours out of their union. Tick, tick. Across the room, the antique shadow box mirror, a cold, unfeeling eye regarded me. Tick, tick. The clock loudly counted the length of my sentence. The mirror stood sentry. Tick, tick. The clock counted. The mirror watched. Tick, tick. The clock loudly measured. The mirror silently witnessed. Tick, tick. I threw the clock at the mirror, succeeding not in blinding my witness, but managing instead to multiply the witness to my loneliness and humiliation by some exponential X factor. 10,000 flat eyes stared at me while the clock continued to count feebly. Tick, tick. I sat back against the pillows, closed my eyes. The paresis of depression rendered my limbs brittle, lifeless. Motionless, I slept. Abruptly, I awoke. How long had I slept? Hours, days, minutes? I did not know. I knew only that I had to open my eyes to stop the memories, dreams. God's movies, I, a child, had called them once. They projected themselves onto the screen of my closed eyelids, memories of you, and me, and her. You coming home drunk, retching on the priceless Persian carpet centuries old. You and I and she riding together in her open Jeep. You reaching over and kissing my laughing mouth.
She looking startled and displeased. You and I making love for the first time. Your strong brown arms holding me aloft as your glistening manhood, hard and smooth, steel sheath and satin, drove me steadily towards ecstasy. Me with a shout collapsing against your chest, your strong brown arms holding me safe. The telephone shrieked, its shrill cry ripping the heavy fabric of silence that stretched across the four corners of that room. Hello? Hi. Relief. It was you. Where are you? You know where I am. With her? Yes. Hurt, anger, betrayal. I closed my eyes, swallowed hard, pride slid down. When are you coming home? I'm not. Why not? I've decided to live with her. I've decided to live with her. The words reverberated down the unfurnished corridors of my empty heart. The screams of my false hope dying a sudden unjust death echoed. Why don't you want to live with me anymore? Because I hate what that makes me. What? Silence. Go ahead, say it. Faggot. It makes you a goddamn faggot, just like me. You're using her to prove what you still think what a man is. You're using her like a fist. Still you said nothing. You knew you weren't coming back, I said. That's why you left while I was still asleep. Yes, you admitted. I looked around desperately. Why didn't you take your clothes? You paid for them, so I guess that makes them yours. You fucked me for them, so I guess that makes them yours. That's not why I fucked you. Why then? I love you. I love you too. Who spoke? Who answered? I laid the receiver in his cradle, a small, fragile corpse out of an old man finally dead in his coffin. A memory intruded then. My father waking me from a nightmare, whispering softly into my child's ear. His strong brown arms carried me to their big double bed, where ancient eyelid sheets, pale in the dark, tickled my chin, and strong brown arms held me safe. I reached for the phone and dialed the familiar number from memory. Hello? Hi, Daddy. Your mother's not home. He spoke in the manner of someone not used to speaking on the telephone. That is to say, a little too loudly, a little too brusquely. That's okay, I called to talk to you. Oh, he said, surprised. What about? Nothing, I contradicted myself. I love you. I love you too. Who spoke? Who answered? I replaced the phone in his cradle for the second time that morning, a corpse no longer, but rather its resurrected spirit. Getting out of bed, I moved forth into the new day, marching to the scatter rhythms of a drummer god. The end. And that's the end of that story. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to comment, like, and share. And there's also a link to my official author streams. So I hope you'll follow along there as well. See you for the next episode.